Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball Superhero Broly. Now this is the third Dragon Ball Super Broly figure, and it's, well, technically fourth if you're counting the event exclusive one. But this is the third sort of mainline one, and it's the second one using the same rough sculpt, which was that very first Broly with the Frieza Force armor. Now this one is slightly different because it needs to match his appearance in that movie, but there is a lot of shared stuff between them. I haven't looked at any of the Brolys on this channel before, but I do really like the Broly figures. I love the sort of chunkiness and weight to those figures, as well as the general aesthetic. The superhero design isn't my favorite. I don't mind the sort of like black sleeve shirt that he's got on, or the skin tight, whatever you call it. But I do prefer the Saiyan armor look, and I like the powered up hair that he has in the original movie. I don't really like the powered down look all that much, but we will be going through everything. This is the last of the superhero figures for me to look at, and it's the one that I sort of didn't care about the most. I didn't want the Gohan accessory that it came with, and I preferred all of the other figures before this, but because I'm trying to collect all the Dragon Ball mainline Figuarts, I had to get this one eventually, and it's by no means a bad figure, it's just the one that I wasn't really that excited about. But taken out of the box, here's what Broly comes with, and it's a pretty okay loadout, honestly, especially considering the other Brolys that have come before. So he's got 4 faces, an alternate hair sculpt for Gohan, as well as several different hands. And the hands aren't anything too crazy, but it's generally what you need out of a figure like this, and it is a relatively large Figuarts, and looks pretty good all things considered. And taken out of the box, here is Broly, and he's looking pretty okay. There is something aesthetically off with him, which we will be getting into shortly, but generally the purple, the green, and the black work together quite well, and he has a lot of shelf presence. Like I said, the powered down hair look isn't my favorite look for this Broly, but it still looks relatively okay, and the rest of the outfit looks pretty good on him. But again, prefer the Saiyan armor. Or the Frieza Force armor, I always get them confused. Anyway, here's a quick size comparison. So here's Broly next to the superhero Gohan, so you can see just how large he is in comparison to the 3.0 sculpt. Here he is next to the Super Movie Broly, as well as the Full Power Super Movie Broly, so you can see just how large that figure was. But for a direct comparison between him and the original figure, there is something off about this one, and it's pretty much the entire new sculpt on it. So pretty much from the waist up, this is a brand new figure, but from the waist down, it is a reused sculpt from the first Super Broly movie figure. And the problem with that is that the first figure was Broly powered up, so the legs were bulkier, the arms were bulkier, the chest was bulkier. Whereas the superhero one, he's powered down, so he's a little bit slimmer, and this whole new sculpt is a little bit slimmer in general. But because the waist down is all the exact same figure, there's a bit of a disparity between the top and bottom half of this figure. You won't notice it too much if you pose him right, but if you put them as a direct comparison and have the figure in hand, it does feel a little bit weird, like there's something off, and I'm pretty sure that's it. But posability on him is pretty alright, honestly. So he's got a ball joint at the head and neck, allows for pretty good motion, so looking down and up just fine, side to side all good. His arms can rotate all the way around, no problem. Hinge out, there's a good butterfly. There's a swivel at the upper arm, bend at the elbow, as well as a hinge at the wrist. The gauntlets or braces do really hinder that movement, but it's fine. There's a ball joint in the upper chest, allowing for some good crunching and movement. The skirt is in 3 pieces, it's a soft plastic, so it gets out of the way just fine. You can kick forward and back that far, swivel at the leg, bend at the knee, as well as a pivot at the ankle and hinge at the toe. And generally what you expect out of the Figuarts. It is big, bulky, and holds the pose pretty damn well. It's just aesthetically not my favorite look for this character. Broly comes with 4 faces, so he's got a neutral serious face out of the box. He's got a shouting face, a teeth-gritted angry face, as well as a crying face. And I think the crying face was when he watched Goku and Vegeta fight. I can't really remember, I'm pretty sure that was it. And all of these faces look pretty good. The modern paint style for the Figuarts line, it just is so good. I really, really like it. And these faces are also compatible with the older Broly. They don't fit perfectly, and there is a slight color difference between the skin color, but they do work relatively well. So if you want to give that figure a little more expression because he only had the shouting face, it's something you can do. You can also put that entire head sculpt on this Broly, so if you like that aesthetic more, that works just fine too. And the other new addition is the windswept hair for Gohan. It's pretty okay. It's not the best windswept hair, but I do think that they've had worse, or at least ones that don't really look as dynamic. But this one works relatively well, and it was just when they were starting out with this sort of accessory style. But it serves its purpose well enough, and is a nice little bonus if you already wanted the Broly. But with those accessories, you can get Broly into some pretty good poses, nothing too crazy. Again, I don't like the disparity between the top and bottom half, but, you know, you can ignore it and put him into some dynamic poses, or just, you know, try and hide it, depending on how you pose him in general. But he looks pretty okay. His bulk does get in the way just a bit, but I didn't mind it too much. The way I pose him, I wouldn't really have the bulky legs getting in the way anyway, but if you wanted him on the ground, it's just a little bit weird. But again, in general, pretty alright figure, nothing too crazy, and it's weird. I'm just not a big fan of the design, and that just, you know, kind of hurts my opinion going in, even though it's not a bad figure by any means. I just don't care all that much. But, like, he's a solid release. If you had to get a Broly, he is the most inexpensive out of the lot, but I would choose any of the other super ones over this. And they are doing that poll, or they finished the poll for re-releases, so the original Broly might get it, although that one needs like an actual 2.0 sculpt. But we'll see how it goes. In terms of Brolys, I think this one's the weakest for the Figuarts line, but it's also not a bad figure. That's what I'm trying to get across. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.